I'm Amanda Pittman, and this is the Confident Woman Podcast. This podcast was created to equip you to stand confidently upon the finished work of Jesus. In this community, we'll talk about what you care about most, living shamelessly for Jesus, speaking unapologetically for truth, and bringing heaven to earth. So make yourself comfortable. We're going to chop it up, keep it real, and change the world. Welcome back to the Confident Woman Podcast. I am here with my guest, none other than the Avrielle Muse.
Hey.
So if you don't know Ave, she is an influencer extraordinaire. She gets views, y'all. Like, she has a video that has like over 30 million views.
It's 28 million.
Okay. Round up. I mean, at that point, like, what's another 2 mil? Like, what's another 2 mil? Like, what? Some people will never see a million, and you've seen like almost 30 of them. So, she also is a YouTuber.
Yes.
And a model in the making, because we were talking about her future modeling career, because she's absolutely stunning.
So sweet.
Now, you are like, what, 5'1", 5'2"?
5'2".
So,
Very
I mean, it
short.
will have to be petite modeling.
Yes.
But us short girls are cute too. We're cute too.
Yeah, they be leaving us out.
I know.
It's rough.
Yeah, you do need to speak a little bit closer.
Oh,
yeah.
Get closer. Okay.
And she's pregnant. How many weeks are you now?
I am going to be 35 weeks tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Our friend Jonna gave birth at 35 weeks. So I'm still processing that. Like, you're in the point, normally 38 weeks plus is like home stretch. But after what I saw with Jonna, I'm just like, it could happen at any moment. Or you could go to 41 weeks, like some people go to 42 weeks.
Lord, please let that not be my portion.
I don't think it will be. Abe, you're going to go and get one of those prenatal massages.
Yes. Oh my gosh, definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. It's already in the works. So.
Yeah, because Jonna's baby Dawson practically fell out the womb after she had.
Prenatal massage.
Yes. So those things work. But my favorite thing about Avrielle is that she's my best friend.
Aww.
Which is
so
like a very selfish favorite thing. My
Amanda
favorite thing
gasses
about
me.
you is me.
Who would you be without me?
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
So funny, but low-key true.
Yes. I'm really excited about our conversation today. First of all, because we have this vibey setup.
I love this setup.
Yes, I love the setup too, because we usually do like, usually on my podcast, I do like the whole Zoom thing. I've never had a live, in-person guest on my podcast, so this will be great.
Yes.
I like that. It energy is good on Zoom, but like it's still different being in person.
It is different being in person. I just love the moodiness of this whole room.
Yeah, it's a mood. It's a vibe.
It's a mood.
Yes.
I love it. And I just love the comfy chairs. I really need that since I'm pregnant. So
comfy chairs, blanket. She's got a green smoothie.
Yes.
You may not see it, but it's there.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about our conversation today because we're talking about what it's like feeling underestimated, being the underdog, feeling overlooked.
Yes.
And it's something that we can both relate to.
Yes.
We've both felt that before. But I feel like she was the perfect person to talk about it because it's been a theme in our conversations. So Ave, talk to me about times in your life or situations in your life where you felt either like an underdog or you felt underestimated.
Well, I think it's mainly with my career. When it comes to my career, because it feels like that's been the hardest and longest journey for me to see it actually pick up. That has been where I've felt the most underestimated, I would say. And I also feel like because there's like a huge desire to see like it be something like fruitful and for it to like be what God said it would be and all of that stuff. So yeah, I would say I felt it so much with my career and my purpose, and mainly from me as well as others as well.
Okay, so let's explore that concept of being underestimated by others versus underestimating yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So how, like, what has been the ratio of like underestimating myself, others underestimating you? Like what, talk to me about that, and talk to me about like how the two affect you.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember last year you and I were having a conversation, and you were like, Ave, I was doing my reels and I was like posting, you did like a 30-day reels challenge, and you like saw so much growth from it. And you were telling me to do it. And I had so many apprehensions, and I was like, I don't know if that could work for me.
And let me pause, because for those of you, y'all aren't in our friendship, so y'all don't know what we've talked about. So when you hear Ave say she was telling me to do it, you may think, well, what if Ave's not called to that? Blah, blah, blah. Me and Ave had already discussed, like, God has called her to influencing, like, Instagram, YouTube. This is what God has designed her for. And so this was just me nudging her in the direction that she's always supposed to be. So I just had to add that disclaimer, because people may not know and assume that I'm just like pushing you to do something.
Right.
So go ahead.
That's true. That's good.
Yeah.
Good ad. Yeah. So you were like encouraging me and telling me to do it. And I was just like, I don't know. I was hesitating a lot, and I was just telling you all my limiting beliefs as to why I didn't think it would work for me. And I remember just saying, like, I've done this before. I've shown up or tried to show up consistently before, and like I couldn't show up consistently, or I wasn't like seeing the outcome that I wanted. I wasn't seeing the fruit that I wanted from it. So those were the two main things. And I just really heavily underestimated myself. I just didn't think I could do it. And then you pushed me, and you were like so encouraging, and you just said all the right things, as Amanda always does. She's so good at that. I mean, everybody needs an Amanda in their life, but yeah. And I did it, and I saw some really great growth. Like, I went from 1,700 followers on Instagram, and then 2 months later to, I think I hit 10,000.
Bruh.
And I was just
growth.
Bewildered. Like, I shocked myself. And I think that's when belief started to like come into my heart. And I actually started to believe, like, no, you can actually do things that you think that you can't do, if that makes sense. And so seeing the numbers and the outcome really helped, I would say, in that case. And that kind of just started to create a pattern where I was like, oh no, like I actually can do this. Like, even if you think you can't, you can.
Okay. So that is all you underestimating yourself.
Yeah.
Now about others.
Okay, so the others is annoying. If I'm going to be completely honest.
It really is.
The others is annoying because it's like, okay, first of all, I can underestimate myself, whatever, and I'll deal with that. But it's so annoying when other people underestimate you. Like, it's like, please just go away.
Especially when you know you got it.
Yes.
And you know what you're capable of. You know what you can produce. You know you have all of the right things. So that has definitely happened in Avrielle's influencing career.
Yes.
I want you to talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so when I first started to see numbers and growth and all that, I was like, okay, let me start to reach out to brands. So somebody had reached out to me and said that they wanted to manage me and all that stuff. And then I started to feel really underestimated by this person that was basically asking to manage me. At first, it was like, oh my goodness, like you're killing it. Your numbers are great and all that stuff. And then, I don't know, it was like within a 2-week time span, I don't know what happened, but that just disappeared. It was like, and then I had brought like other people to go like, or like not brought, I would say like recommended, you know, this person. And I obviously, because these other people were friends with me, they were explaining to me like, oh yeah, like she pitched me this many times to a brand. And then when I would ask her, I felt like I was like chasing her to find out like, okay, like what's been happening, like just updates. And then when I would ask her, she would be like, yeah, like I pitched you 3 times or something like that. And it was just so upsetting, especially because I was just starting out and I really needed people around me that I felt like really believed in me and were really pushing me. and believed in me enough to do the work.
Yeah.
I think. And I think it was just so evident that they didn't feel like they could do the work for me or should do the work for me, because at that time I had like 13,000 followers, and then like some of the other people had more followers.
Yeah.
If that
it
makes
was only
sense.
13,000 at that point?
I think it was 13,000
Okay.
at that point from what I remember.
Yeah.
And other people had, and I understand, I think from a business perspective, it was probably like, well, I'm going to make more money with maybe somebody that has like 100,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
And if a brand is going to work with you, they're going to pay you a little bit less because you only have 13,000 followers. So I understand the business aspect, but it wasn't just that. It was just everything surrounding that and the air around like our conversations. And
Yeah. And Avrielle is kind of like censoring a little bit because the other person who was the friend was me.
I was totally censoring.
Yeah. And so I'm a ride or die. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to step on someone else to get to the top. Like I am loyal.
Yeah.
Loyal if you're a good person. Because I'm not loyal to bad people. That people need to know that about you, okay? Because I will cut you in a moment if I find out that you're not who you say you are.
Right.
But to my best friend, Avrielle, I know her through and through. I'm going to be loyal to her. And so it's like kind of like planting those like seeds of doubt and kind of making you feel like, oh, it's you.
Yeah.
It's not me, it's you.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, she even offered me to pivot from pitching to brands to like PR. I'm like, no, this is not what I hired you for.
Right.
But like even that suggestion made me feel like, oh, is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with the way I show up? And then I had to remind myself, no, I'm led by the Lord. This is how I want to show up online. And so I felt a microcosm of that, but I got irritated because she was, you know, really not pitching Ave.
Yeah.
And so I think that definitely like fed into that narrative of like, I'm overlooked or I'm an underdog.
Right. And that's how you know that somebody else is overlooking you or underestimating you, when it's so subtle in a way where it's like they're planting these seeds and it starts to become your self-talk when you weren't even thinking that way before.
Girl.
Literally. It's like, oh, maybe it is the faith-based thing, or maybe it is because I only have 13,000 followers, and it's like you weren't even thinking that way before. So that's how you know you start to like absorb what this other person is saying. And that's why it's so important to have people that really believe in you and are rallying behind you.
Yeah.
Especially when you know that it's something that's sensitive, like your calling or your purpose. Like, because you don't want to be like, for example, with influencing, it's like, I don't want to be breeding that belief into people that are also following me.
That's so real.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like I want women to have full faith that whether you have 5,000 followers or 500,000, if God's called you, like he is the God that can take the small and make it big. Like that's who we serve, you know? So that was like super disappointing at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did that, has that narrative persisted since?
Well, actually, yeah. But not in the same way, if that makes sense.
Okay, go into that.
So right now I'm working with this amazing manager. She's so great. She like pitches me all the time. She has so much belief in me. And like, even though things aren't playing out the way that I want them to, I feel so good because she has so much belief in me. And it doesn't feel like I'm dragging this person to believe in me.
Yeah.
It's more like she's dragging. I'm kidding. She's not dragging me. She's not dragging me to believe in myself, but
maybe she's leading you.
She's really professional. She does this. She actually has brand deals constantly. So like she knows what she's doing. So she is leading me in the professional sense of like, Ave, you haven't done this before. I've done this before. And like, this is the way that I do it kind of thing. So she's great that way, but she's so great when it comes to like believing in me, you know, like it's just so good. I feel like it's just a great partnership. And even though I'm still not seeing results yet, she for 1 second has not made me feel like it's me.
Yeah.
She actually thinks it's the brands.
Y'all tripping.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So she is just so great and I just love it. The narrative has persisted though, in the sense of why aren't the brands choosing me? If that makes sense. So it's like, everything's good. They'll be reaching out. They're like, yes, girl, like we want you. They email me. And then it's like, oh, the brand decided to go in a different direction.
Mm-hmm. Even though you know they've worked with other creators, you know the type of money they'll put out for other people.
Legit. That happened to me with one brand. This brand reached out to me, big and national brand. And I got excited because I was like,
huge,
oh, this is going to be good.
Huge brand.
Right. Then, anyway, they ended up basically saying, they reached out to me twice. The first time they said that they were going to go in a different direction. I said, okay, fine. Then the second time they were offering me really low for the follower count I had. And like even my manager was like, okay, this is crazy. This doesn't make sense.
Follower count and views engagement. Because her views and engagement are off the charts.
Right.
Off the charts.
So they were offering me really low. So she was shocked about that because she was like, I know this brand has budget. And then like come to find out they were paying other creators so much more than that. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, what is happening? Like, why? And I think I went through this like thing where I was just like, why are they reaching out? They're interested. And then it's like it falls off the table, or they're just like, don't even want to pay me what I'm worth. Mm-hmm. And that feels so crappy because it's like, oh, I feel like I'm actually also being underestimated by brands. Mm-hmm. Then the kicker with this brand was I was like, okay, maybe I just need to get my foot in the door. That's fine. I'm like, I'll take the low amount that they're giving me. Turns out when we tell them like, hey, like we'll take it, they're just like, oh, sorry, we decided to go in a different direction.
Trash.
I was like,
that's so trash. That's so trash.
So annoying, you know? So yeah, that was just really disappointing. Yeah. It was really disappointing, but I think that I'm just learning that even when things like this happen, even when you feel overlooked, underestimated, all that stuff, like it's literally not you. Like, yes, there's gonna be things maybe that you could do better. Like, you know, we can always be improving, but I honestly don't think in this case it's me. I think it's just maybe they don't feel like, oh, okay, well, they don't see that. Oh, maybe she's worked with this brand and this brand and this brand before. So maybe they feel like they're taking a chance on me, whatever the case is. But it's like, it's not me.
Okay, let's talk about that, because I think that there was a point in your career and purpose journey where you did believe it's you.
Yeah.
So how did you get from this place of it's me and internalizing it to having the confidence of knowing this is not me and I can still like fully own this lane and not feel like I'm the one who's wrong?
Yeah. I would say, honestly, having people like you in my life to like speak into my life and
your manager too.
And my manager, you know, like knowing that she's like, okay, you know what? It's gonna come. Like she always says, she's like, it's gonna come. Like, you have phenomenal content. You have a global reach. Like, she's just always breathing so much belief into me. So I would say having community around me that consistently like pushes a different narrative, even though the brands might be making me feel a certain way or whatever the case is. And then I would also say like just knowing what God's called me to and like being firm in that. Like sometimes it's just timing. You know, like I was reading the scripture the other day. I'm not going to quote it right because I don't remember it. It was in Ecclesiastes, but it's like, it was saying like time and chance comes to everybody. Like you will get your time. You will get your chance. You know what I mean? And it's like, so just plant your seeds. You essentially just don't know, you know, like you just don't know when it's going to pop off for you and when it's going to work out for you, but just know that your time is going to come. And I think that sometimes it's really just timing. So maybe it also could be like this in this moment or this month or next month might not be my time to start working with brands. Maybe God is trying to pull something else out of me, which is what we talked about yesterday. But it really might be maybe 3 months from now, 4 months from now, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't mean it's you. I think it could just mean like it's timing as well. So I would say community and just knowing like how God's called me and designed me and being firm in that.
Okay, I love both of those. I want to speak to the community piece. Those are both so rich. When it comes to the community piece, I think that there's so many women who their community does not breathe belief or life into them. And so let's say they feel underestimated in their professional aspect, but they never get that, you know, at least my people believe in me. It's like, no, then they come home and then their husband doesn't believe in them. Their mom doesn't believe in them. So like, what types of things does your manager say to you? What types of things does your husband say to you? Do I say to you that lets you know, okay, this is someone who sees me accurately.
Yeah.
Even when I don't see myself or even when someone else doesn't see me, because I want other people to know the signs of these are the people you should surround yourself with. So what does that sound like?
That's so good. It'll just be like, Ave, like in this season, what do you believe God's called you to? You know, and then I'll affirm that. A lot of the time it's repeating what I already know about myself. Like, even though I might not believe it in that moment, it's like the community around me is constantly pulling out what's already on the inside of me. And it's good things.
Yeah.
So they'll say like, okay,
that part.
Yeah.
Because if they're pulling out the worst in you, that's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah.
So they'll just affirm like, okay, what do you believe that you're called to in this season? Okay, if you feel like this is what you're called to in this season, then, you know, just be patient. Like, trust it's going to work out. It will work out. They always affirm a good report. Or they'll always like speak like I have a future and a hope. It's never demeaning. It's never negative. Like, I can't recall specific sentences right now, but just the energy in which everybody around me speaks to me with, it's like even giving resources, you know, like, try this, maybe we should try this, maybe we should pivot this way, you know, like just doing things in a way and saying things where it's like, no, you have a future and we're gonna get this.